This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram @LoneWolfPB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community. Today's episode of PTG is brought to you by the one and only Trans Labs that brought the world two amazing products. First off, Transfuse, which is a hydration multiplier, and most recently they just dropped Transcend, which is a nootropic energy formula. No matter what you use, when you choose Trans Labs, you are going to be boosted and you are going to be ready to charge the paintball field and win out there. With Transfuse, that is a premium rapid hydration multiplier and immunity fortifying formula scientifically designed to replenish you at the cellular level. And they use all natural ingredients in this product. We've got zinc, we've got vitamin B6, we've got vitamin C, sodium, potassium, choline, and it is an amazing way to make sure that you're hydrated and prepared to play top-level paintball. When it comes to Transcend, that is a premium nootropic energy formula designed to increase cognitive performance, elevate mood and clarity while supporting long-term brain health, and it's going to leave you feeling great with no crash or jitters. It's one of the only products in the nootropic space backed by research studies to ensure the formula is correct for optimal performance. It is more potent than anything on the market, and it will keep you charged and ready to win out there. I take 1 scoop, but if you're stimulant sensitive, take a half scoop, and if you want that LFG dose to launch to the moon, dump 2 scoops in your drink and you are going to be flying down that paintball field. Comes in 2 delicious flavors, Baja Blast and Skittles Candy for the Transcend. And for the Transfuse, they have 2 new flavors as well, Pineapple Express and Hawaiian Punched. So if you get a chance, head over to translabs.com. That's TRANZLABS.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME and you'll get 10% off. If you subscribe to a monthly delivery service, you also get 10% off as well. So you could take advantage of 20% off on these products. Head over to translabs.com and give it a go.
This episode is brought to you by BioCell RX. BioCell RX is an amazing company that makes some of the best CBD I have ever tried. I've been personally using this product for over 3 months, and it does not disappoint. I don't go anywhere without it. When traveling, it's really hard to get to sleep, especially when I'm swapping time zones and going to different places, sleeping in hotels and not in my own bed. CBD helps me get a good night rest so that I can wake up feeling refreshed, ready to coach, ready to teach, or ready to compete. Whatever it is, I take my CBD with me. My CBD is my partner in crime, my partner in travel. BioCell is one of the products that, if it's not in my backpack, I'm not leaving the house. You guys are definitely going to want to head over to biocellrx.com and pick up a bottle of your own. The cool thing about BioCell is they offer CBD at an incredibly highly concentrated formula. With over 6,000 milligrams per bottle, you can get 1 bottle and hold on to it for a long time. The typical dose for CBD is around 30 milligrams, so you do the math. 1 bottle will last you a very long time. You don't have to deal with constantly ordering new products and waiting for it to arrive and maybe running out, all of the nonsense. Use code PLAYTHEGAME and get $25 off at checkout. All right, everybody. What's going on, everybody? Marcelo Margot here, and we are back from the NXL Sunshine State Major, first event of the season. It was a doozy. What a great time. And we have an amazing episode for you guys. We have Chris Schehr of San Diego Dynasty and Alex Goldman of AC Diesel on the show to talk about the event and all things that happened. And you don't want to miss it. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let us get to the show. We're going to get there right now, right after this intro.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys, though. Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back from the NXL Sunshine State Major. We have Chris Schehr here, obviously, T. Harm, myself. We got a few awesome guests later in the show, too. But, Chris, what up, dude?
What up? What up? How's it going?
New champion.
Oh, yeah. Sick.
How does it feel?
Dude, it's incredible. Still have that, like, that high, you know?
Hell yeah. Well, show everyone the trophy. Let's go. YouTube. Yeah. He's got the trophy right here.
There it is.
There we go.
Bam.
There we go.
Still got a sticker on it.
Oh my gosh, dude. I can't believe you guys put those stickers on the trophy. Shout out to Steve, young Stevie. He through the Flow company printed these funny stickers of myself when I was on vacation. I don't know how he got that photo either. I think my girlfriend posted it on her story and he like saved it. And it was when we were in Mexico celebrating the World Cup win. And then he just made a bunch of stickers to go with the latest Flow drop. So he brought me some to the event. And I guess the team decided to put the stickers on the trophy. It's a funny sticker.
That's funny. Yeah, he responded to my story of the trophy, that guy, and was laughing at it. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
Shout out to young Stevie.
He's been having a lot of fun, and he's crushing it with the Flow paintball. Everybody check that out. He's got a new drop coming out pretty soon. So stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah, the new drop is fire. Tons of great stuff.
Yep.
So, Chris, dude, talk to us, man. First pro finals. You've been working your butt off for a long time. First pro win. How does it feel? Explain that feeling. Explain like the whole kind of process. Where are you at right now?
It's crazy because I mean, not only was it my first pro finals and winning, but it was first tournament with Dynasty.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just come on the team. And then not only that, but like I contributed to this win too.
Absolutely.
Which makes it feel even sweeter. So, you know, getting to play a ton and playing well, playing around you guys it was sick. I mean, from the like I honestly thought it was just so cool to get to walk out there and like do the national anthem and that respect and get back in there and get to work. So it was super awesome.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I was actually just telling Tyler before the show, it may not show it on Go Sports just because trust me, I've been that player for so long, but you got key kills that like, again, sometimes the camera doesn't quite show because it's not a move or, you know, bunkering somebody or anything like that. But there were so many points on Sunday that like I was playing right next to you and I would, you know, call for something and then hear you make the shot and call the kill. And I'm like, oh man, that was huge. That's a huge moment right there, you know? That, man, can't say much more about first, you know, Sunday with the team. You really stepped up for us. So it was phenomenal having you out there. It was really fun to play next to you on Sunday.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I feel like the chemistry, I fit right in, you know, right away. And it kind of felt like I had already been there doing it. So it's cool.
Yeah, it did in a way. Yeah. What do you think that is? Because it's a hard thing to join a new team and kind of fit right in. Is there something that you personally tried to approach this event and the practices with, or do you think it was maybe on behalf of the team, or like, what can you attribute that to, especially for, you know, if there's any players out there that are listening that just got picked up for a new team or are worried about how they might fit in with a new program. Do you have any insight on that?
Yeah. I mean, when I first, you know, before the first time I flew out to play with Dynasty was that one weekend that you and Archie weren't there. I mean, I was like pretty nervous about going out there and playing with the guys. I didn't know what to expect or, you know, how I would fit in. But I think it's really a lot on the team's part when they're bringing in a new player to like make them feel comfortable and make them feel welcomed. And then, you know, for all the younger guys listening is just be yourself, you know, go out there and you know, I feel like I always get along with most everybody that I'm around and, you know, just being myself and going out there and being cool and, you know, making funny jokes here and there or trying to fit in is it's pretty easy at that point. So I would just say be yourself, you know, be humble. Don't try to like overstep or, you know, start talking crazy or, you know, get in fights or anything like that. Just,
definitely don't try to get in fights the first few weekends on the team. That's not a good idea.
Yeah. So it was easy, man. I mean, Dynasty made it easy for me. Everybody was super cool. It just felt like it was right. So.
And you've been playing pro for quite some time and been able to play against Dynasty for quite some time as well. So being able to see it from the other side of the field and then step on the same side of the field with them, I'm sure, that helped you as well because you've been able to study the team for a long time, and then joining, you're able to kind of see, okay, this is where I'm going to fit in. This is how I'm going to navigate within the organization.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing too, like playing wise, getting on a new team, like I knew that they had picked me up for a reason, right? And that reason was just to be myself on the field. Obviously, things get a little bit different when you're playing with a new team, and this layout was a little bit weird in terms of like, I felt like on the field, the communication level was a lot deeper on this layout, given that the points were longer and this and that. But like, really just remembering to be myself out there, and that kind of took away that anxiety and those feelings of, being with a new team rather than just going out there and being myself.
Yeah, the field was definitely a little bit slower, obviously, of a layout than we've seen in the past. And then you're playing on the Doritos side. So kind of walk us through, obviously the tournament's over. There's going to be a lot of people out there who are going to be playing this layout rolling into some local events. And they would love to pick your brain on how to navigate that Dorito side, and what worked really well for you over there.
Yeah. A lot of just survivability, to be honest, on that side, like really surviving, getting out on the break on this layout on that side, getting past that can. I mean, the corner was pretty good, but could be hit or miss. But, trying to run to those Doritos were tough.
Even getting to the can was tough. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about it in all the practices. And throughout the event too, I was like, this spot is so shootable, and nobody was shooting it until finally in the finals. Like both sides are shooting multiple bodies off the break. That can was tough. I got shot like 2 points in a row going to that spot. The hell, shots are huge on that field.
Yeah,
definitely. And then, I mean, that field too, when you got a key kill, it was like right away you had a huge advantage,
Yeah.
So like kind of like Marcelo was saying, when a lot of those shots that I made on Sunday were when it was still 5-5, like 5-on-5,
100%.
and all of a sudden Marcelo would call, the can on the Dorito side is looking a certain way, or the beast on the first Dorito on that side, and I would come out and make a quick shot on them, and that was huge because right away it's 54 or 5-on-4, and it's we have a big advantage. So.
Dude, our communication, I was so impressed with because it felt like we had been playing together for a long time. That's a hard thing to pick up immediately, right? And so for me, that gave me a lot of comfort that, in those matches, I could see how receptive you were, and we would talk about stuff before the game and then implement it in the match, and you would get kills off of it immediately. And I was like, oh, this is going to be cake, dude. This is amazing. Like you cannot ask for much more than that. And you're absolutely right. Like in those games, there were so many long 5-on-5s, and it would be that first crucial kill. And once you got that kill, if you reacted quick enough, the other team was in a lot of trouble. It was a really tough field to win down bodies. Really tough. It did happen, but it was just one of the tougher fields because it was so hard to make moves. Yeah. Like it was so easy to get to certain spots on the snake side that were far up the field that you could completely cut off the rest of the field. So it was hard to make moves, which made it hard for, what's the best way to get back in a point if you're down bodies. In the last couple of years, it has been attacking, right? That has been your best chance at winning a point, is attacking early. As soon as you go down bodies, trying to make a quick counterpunch before the team adjusts. This field wasn't really like that, so that first kill was so big. And multiple times on Sunday, dude, you got that kill, and I was just incredibly impressed with that. It was huge. Yeah. It was huge. And it was a good Dorito side for players like you and myself, and Tyler too. I think you would have done very well as the one on the Dorito side on this particular layout, Tyler, because it's very methodical, where every single bump is like, the variables. It's easy for you to say, okay, I have to put this player in, wrap, go. There's no like hidden spots that can shoot cross or like, close your eyes and run to the 50. You got to win a gunfight, check off one more spot and go, like that's how the field was. Or if they're in this spot, keeping me from advancing, not this spot, then I go this route instead of that route. It was that kind of side, which again is Tyler. That's a side that you absolutely thrive on. Chris, you're that type of a player. Myself playing the one on the Dorito side, same thing. So for the players, I feel like, and I realize this gets lost in translation. After one of the last shows we did, Ty, we had some people in the Discord thinking that I was saying that the Dorito side here was going to be really fast. So when we talk about fields and sides that are really fast compared to methodical, that doesn't mean that one side is more powerful than the other. And I realize that has gotten lost in conversation from people that have spoken up, saying what I was predicting a side might be when they have it like completely wrong. Just because a side is fast doesn't mean it's the dominant side. It could be, but it doesn't mean that that's what it is, right? Like, or the side that you're going to win games from. What we've seen in the last couple years, and again, I think it's why Archie had such a phenomenal year on the snake side and it really stood out, is because it was a hard side. It was a slower side, but it ended up being a side that you could dominate from. If you got like the first kill from that side, you could win the game from there. The Dorito side on this field had been that, right? It was slower, methodical. The snake side was like, fast, easy to get to the 50s. But the fields in the last 2 seasons have kind of been like that. They choose a side. One side is like really fast and kind of chaotic, and the other side is kind of wide open. Right. And so it's interesting to see. I'm curious if they move forward into the next event in Texas. I wonder if it's going to be similar to where we have another Dorito side that's kind of traditional and slow, and then a big snake side that's, again, we'll see if it's fast, slow, dominant, not dominant, right? If it's the side you win from or not. I don't know if that made any sense, what I just said. I just kind of rambled, but
you're right, because there's been a cadence. Like last season, we saw the cadence. Like you said, the cadence was a little bit slower, more difficult snake side. It was almost like the closing side. You would have your middle press, your Doritos press, and then the snake would be the cherry on top. And once they got in the snake, if you weren't in the snake with them, it's highly destructive for the other team. But it wasn't the side that you would press first. Now, look at 2023 now. It's the exact opposite. We got the snake side with the heavy press. There was one big bunker in the middle. They had the Dorito side wedge and then the center 50. But I mean, there was nothing in the middle on this field. It was all snake side. And then Dorito side was also really strong. But once you got to like D2, D3, it slowed down a little bit until you get a couple kills and then it progresses. So it's just really interesting to see how they curate these and what they're going to do for event number 2 as we roll into Texas.
Yeah, 100%. Chris, what was your favorite part of the weekend? Besides the win. Besides the win. Favorite part of the weekend. Favorite moment with the team.
Let's see.
Too easy to say the win, getting the trophy.
Yeah.
Right? We could talk about how you made the Dum Dum squad, which you're an attorney. It doesn't really make sense that you're part of the Dum Dums now.
I mean,
dude, he's a Dum Dum, Ty. He's a Dum Dum. He's a total Dum Dum. It's crazy. His favorite album of all time. Can we say this on air? Is it okay?
Oh God, sure.
It's the Afro Man Christmas album. So first of all, huge Afro Man fan, right? We were talking about how dope some of the old school Afro Man songs were. And Chris is like, dude, the Christmas album is a banger. Every year, Christmas time, it's the first thing I put on. I'm like, I haven't heard that. Afro Man has a Christmas album? You gotta be kidding. So it was like me, Ryan, Chris. I forget who else was in the car. Like, all right, we'll put it on. We listened all the way through. It was so terrible. And Chris is just giggling like a stoner in the back. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you? You're definitely part of the Dum Dum squad. It was hilarious. That was one of my favorite moments for sure.
It's good.
It's good.
Everybody go listen to it. Everyone's got to listen to this now.
It already has like hundreds of millions of views. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
All right. So what was your favorite moment?
Okay. I would probably. Are you talking about me or Tyler?
You.
Okay.
I cut you off before you answered. So.
Actually, that movie that we watched, Under Siege, was.
Yo. Yeah, Under Siege was dope. What's his name?
Cool.
Riker?
Casey Ryback.
Ryback. Oh, yeah, that's right. Ryback. Ryback was the nasty man. Tyler, have you seen Under Siege?
No, I haven't. What's that about?
Bro, it's a Steven Seagal movie, old school, like 92, 94, something like that. And it's about this military boat that basically
I think I have seen this.
Yeah, they like try to overtake the boat, but there's a chef on board that's like an ex Navy SEAL, and he's like this super badass. It's obviously Steven Seagal, and he just fucking dominates everybody with knives. It was. We watched that.
I thought you guys were talking about a newer movie, but okay. I do remember this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Ryback, dude.
The team watches some funny movies, actually, like some good ones. Indiana Jones. We've been watching that for like 3 weeks straight.
The team definitely has some movie buffs and keeps some good ones on the reels.
It's what happens when you have ancient artifacts on the team. You know, the old guys, they've seen all the movies that have ever been made. So, you know, they have a good palate.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
Yeah, dude, the movie room was nice. Our house was nuts. Ty, did you guys stay at a house this time?
Yeah, we had the house and then upper management and the mama heaters. They all had the house over there. So it was a good time.
Nice. So there was like a upper management house and then a team house.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, we were all just crammed into one deal, but we were having a blast, dude. We had a casino. I don't know if anybody saw my story. There was like a legitimate casino. So there was no garage. They converted the garage into a casino. And then so there was like a blackjack table, a poker table. I don't even know what the other games were in there, honestly. There was like 5 games in the casino. And then in the room right next door was a sweet basketball arcade game, a full air hockey table, Pac-Man. It was like, at first I was a little worried because I was like, oh, this is too many distractions. And honestly, the first couple nights, like I hear people playing games late, you know, I'm in bed. I'm like, fuck, this is not good. You know, we're like all kind of distracted, but it started to be a good tool actually in the mornings to like play the basketball game and kind of get the adrenaline going and you know, some hand-eye coordination. Like I actually really enjoyed that in the mornings. We had the afternoon bracket, which still sucks. I still would love to petition to not have to play in that game. Like if you're the top seed teams, you shouldn't have to play the very last game of the day. You get hosed going into Sunday. You know, you get hosed. We were in hour traffic on the way back to the house, which was absolutely miserable. You know, and then we lost an hour as well because of the time change, spring forward, and first thing Sunday morning. So yeah, I was like, it's not the greatest. It's a huge bummer.
Was the house an Airbnb or what was it?
Yeah, Airbnb.
There we
Totally.
go. That's nice.
I will say Archie, he probably holds the record for most shots on that basketball game.
I think he did. Yeah.
Was like insane.
Yeah, because he went all the way to the fourth round. There was like different levels that you could do.
Okay.
Which is funny because like the first night, I didn't know that. I thought there was one level. We would do the one level and then walk away.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, oh, there's another level, and then the basket starts moving. And it's kind of fun. I definitely held the record for the 3-point line contest, right? Stood far back, had Arturo pass me the shots.
Yep.
Had some nice baskets there. Yeah, we kept it competitive. It was good. Archie was buckets though. He was just like 2 feet out.
Flow.
Yeah.
Rhythm.
100%. All right, so Ryback. That was your favorite time. Favorite part of the whole weekend.
That was fun.
Not Charlie's?
Oh yeah, Charlie's was fun too. Yeah.
Charlie's is nice.
It is good.
Get a taste.
Get the steak.
Ty, what was your favorite part of the weekend, brother?
Let's see. My favorite part of the weekend would probably have to be Tiki's was pretty fun. We watched some Mandalorian, you know, shout out to the little baby Yoda.
Nice. I haven't started the new season yet.
Yeah, it's really good. The new one's really good. And just the quality time with the guys. We fell short on Sunday. We're definitely really pissed off about that. And we got to come correct rolling into event number 2. But the preparation was really good. That was actually probably one of my favorite things about the event is our preparation. It's obviously a little bit different rolling with the one weekend prior.
Yeah, totally.
But we were able to spend a lot of time together and play a lot of paintball. So that was a lot of fun. And there was tons of great games. I know that the scores weren't that high, but there was a lot of really fun paintball out there. Sunday.
I think it's more interesting.
Yeah.
Dude, because every mistake is dire. So it's like you're watching these long points and it's only boring if you're a dum-dum. No offense. It's only boring if you don't know what's going on, which I understand. So maybe for, you know, gaining like outside interest, maybe not so interesting. I don't know. But for a paintball fan, for me, like they were incredibly impressive matches because every point is like, even in the prelims, every single point mattered so much because you couldn't lose that first point. It was like so hard to come back on this field. True. You know, you knew like there weren't going to be many opportunities. So mistakes were magnified. So I thought like even it being a slower field and a slower game, I thought it made for some very interesting paintball.
Yeah. For players, definitely. Yeah. I don't know. As a viewer, I was like, oh, I don't know if they are really, you know, like 1-to-1 is if, you know, it's not the most exciting paintball you've ever seen. I'm not going to beat around the bush about it. You know,
we need a Tony Romo up there. Yeah. I love Maddie. I love Rich as well. But we need somebody up there that can really explain at the highest level of today's modern game what is going on. You know, we need someone, one of the top pros that, And maybe, who knows who it'll be, but like once one of the OGs retire, the current OGs on Dynasty or even your team has some older heads that really know the game, and they could join Maddie, because Maddie is also an OG, but from like a way earlier era. And he understands the game. Don't get me wrong. He really does. But there's things about today's game that a top level player of today needs to be able to explain. Right. And that's what makes those points interesting, is if you're really going through the every little, like, just minute detail, that's what would make that interesting,
Yeah. And they do a phenomenal job. And there were so many details like you're talking about, like really intricate little details that made those 1 point games,
Totally.
1-1 overtime, very interesting in their own right.
Totally.
It's just the crash and bash 'em is more, everyone wants to see the crash and bash 'em, crazy, faster, that kind of style. But we haven't seen a field quite like what we saw this last weekend in some time. I mean, I can't remember one that had so many 1-to-1, outcomes where it was like 1-2 final scores or 1-to-1 OTs. And there was a lot of that all last weekend. And obviously you put that many bunkers on a snake side, you're going to get some really good developments in those channels. We saw that there was like that inside channel on the snake side that was getting used a lot. And then opening up a lot of channels on the D side, like, Chris was playing over there, you're playing over there. And it was a really fun Dorito side. I got to play that at practice a little bit, and I really, really like that side as well. It was a fun field. I'm really excited to see what they cook up for us. We got another event coming up in about 6 weeks out there in Texas.
Ty, what do you think it was that stopped you guys from getting past damage in the quarterfinals?
I mean, we just didn't get it done. We got 3-3, went to overtime, and then we were down 4-on-5, and we just had a little bit of a lapse in communication. We didn't know the Dorito side had made a move, and then things just kind of fell apart from there. And then we lost that point to damage to move on into the next round. But we got to be better. I mean, there's a multitude of things that we can do to be better, and we got to make sure that we're just hitting on all cylinders and giving the best that we possibly can. But I'll tell you, the guys are hungry, and everybody's really thinking about how they can be better and how we can make it into the top games, and being in those final matches and progressing into the tournament to win those. It's just about capturing those moments. And we did not ever get to the 50-yard line on Sunday, and that's a problem. You've got to get to so nobody got to a 50 in the early portions of the game. And on a field layout like that, you got to press into those 50s. You got to be, getting up in there, setting the tone, especially on that particular layout. When you get to the center 50, you get to the snake 50, those players connect. It develops progression for other players on the D side. It develops progression for your twos to make their moves. But if we're not getting into those 50s, it's definitely going to be a different outcome, I think, on that particular layout.
Yeah, I agree. Dude, I just want to take a quick moment to shout out your new teammate, Connor Kelly, too. I thought he had a phenomenal weekend.
Connor's the man. Hell yeah, he did.
100%. Shout out to the new fucking up and coming players. Again, Chris, you're one of them, you're a little older than Connor Kelly, but still, like, the new wave of pros, man, a lot of great players, dude. A lot of great players. Connor made me a huge fan after being on the show. So it was really cool to see him, with his first event with Heat, ball out. I thought he had some great moments.
He did. He's got such a good head on his shoulders too. Literally head and shoulders. The dude has long hair and he's rocking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got just a good spirit, good attitude. He's very receptive to information. He's hungry, great at gunfighting, knows when and how to connect and make moves. So moving forward, he's going to be definitely a huge asset for us to take those podium finishes and get those trophies.
100%.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
Do you think you could put your finger on something that was the difference maker in winning this event? And what I mean by that is, was there something that you learned throughout this weekend or in the practices that you didn't know before with Revo that was like, oh, maybe this is why they've been having so much success?
I mean, there's like a whole bag of things, right, that I realized.
Let's not share them all.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
we can give some.
just generally, I would say a lot of it was just preparation, right? From coaching to pit staff to, game plans, our practices, all of that stuff just kind of gives that little extra, little bit that you need. Because it's so hard to win these events, and all the little things add up to,
Yeah, but all the top teams have coaching, pit staff, they prepare well.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know what I mean? These teams have it.
Honestly, I think too, I mean, aside from, the stuff that all the top teams do or should have, is the confidence that the players have on the team, the confidence in myself to go out there and do it. The level of communication on the field is, astronomical. I mean, there was a time when like we were on the field together and I shot somebody and you were like, I love you, Chris, like, like
it was such a big kill.
Like
I was so thankful.
Like midpoint, you said that, and it's like even just like saying that on the field, like midpoint was like kind of like a boost of like, all right, let's go. Like we're not losing this point,
You get shot right after that. I hate you.
Yeah.
I take it back. Yeah, I remember that point. It was funny because again, it was like a longer kind of point, and then you get that first big kill, and I'm like, man, it's just clutch timing,
Yeah.
And to lose a player like Dalton, one of the best Dorito players to ever play the game, one of the best players to ever play the game. Dalton he just brings an insane level of timing and composure in big moments. He always finds a way to like the brighter the lights get, the better he plays. That's a rare thing to replace, right? And so you stepped in and played absolutely phenomenal, like as well as anybody could ask to fill that role. And honestly, the sky's the limit, man. I'm really excited to continue having you as a teammate and seeing, what we can do with this. I was a little bummed because I was kind of excited. I was playing the one on the Dorito side. We didn't get to practice together a whole lot. We were on different lines. And then you just kind of came and took my spot, on Sunday. It's like, damn, all right, coach, it'd be like that. All right, I guess I'll play the can.
I will say it was funny because I played with everybody else, like, but you like for 3 weekends of practice, and then at the event we just get thrown in together, but it was like right away. It fit like perfect, like the communication, everything.
Yeah. Well, we've spoken a lot, kind of off the field, right? So that's something too, like, who's got the dog? Is that you? That's your dog?
Yeah, she's back there.
Ooh, we got a pup. Bring the pup over.
Parker. Come here.
Wait, what's the name?
Parker.
Oh, Parker.
Yeah.
I thought you said Piper. My dog, my girlfriend's dog, which is my dog basically when I want it to be, is over here too. Her name's Piper. Surprised she's not barking yet.
Parker.
Oh, look at Parker.
On the show. Let's go, Parker.
There we go.
How old's Parker?
Pups of PTG.
She's 8.
Yeah.
Or 9. And we have another one named Chewy. He's like a little guy.
Nice.
Does he look like Chewbacca?
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
That's
funny.
awesome.
So
the pups of PTG. That's our favorite.
Pups of PTG.
Let's go.
How does the lady feel about your first dub? Did she watch the event?
Oh yeah. Her mom made dragon shaped cookies.
Oh,
Sure,
that's
yeah.
right. That's awesome.
So
what do you think? Dynasty until the day you DIE or what?
Yeah.
I love you, Dalton. I love Dalton. I miss him.
I got home and there was a dragon balloon in my kitchen.
That's tight. Oh, you get balloons too.
Mm-hmm.
I get balloons.
It's funny.
Balloons are nice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome. I mean, I was just so stoked. Everything about it was really cool, and it was like a dream,
Now the hard thing is to sustain it. We have teams like Heat and players like Tyler that don't want us to win again, right? Yeah. And a bunch of other players in the league, and that's just the way it goes, right? And if they were winning, we're the ones trying to stop them too. So it's nice to enjoy, for sure. Especially, I wish we could get Harrison on here too because he played a crucial role. I think he had a phenomenal event for his first tournament with the team. You guys both made 2 really bad mistakes in that final game, and I grilled you for it in the 2-on-1, even though it was pretty much over. You know, there was like 40 seconds, dude. You never know. Freaking 2-on-1. We're up a point, and this guy tries to go bunker Brian Smith, one of the best snipers in the game. And I'm like, what are you doing? No, don't go.
No, I didn't. I didn't try to go bunker him. I went over from that first wedge on the Dorito side over to the brick.
It now. This is bad.
Yeah. And I come out, and Brian's like on the other side of the bunker where I could see him fully, and I shoot like 2 or 3 balls at him. They just go like this, squirrely everywhere.
Oh, now you're blaming the paint. So not only do you deflect responsibility, you blame the sponsor in a ill-advised move. That's not good. Not good, Chris.
Well, what I would have done if I could take it back, I would have probably just retreated like all the way back to the snake corner and just like hid back there.
No, you should have just listened to me. I was like, stay right there. Just don't do anything. And then I just see you like running around. I'm like, oh God, first finals appearance. And he just wants to go for blood. Get some glory. Harrison also, we lost a 5-on-2 to damage. Pretty crazy. You know, we're up 2-0 in the finals, and it was a 5-on-2. And we lost that point. That's huge. But it came down to a 3-on-2 with me, Archie, and Harrison. And Harrison did the same thing, trying to cross the gap from that snake side wedge into the 50 brick over on the snake side and got shot. And it's like, no, like, especially on this field, you have that extra body. Like, those decisions are the difference between winning and losing. You know, we've done this for so many years. I mean, Ty, right? Like, that is the difference. Those situations, you got to be able to play those situations the right way. I
was going to say in my response, not to cut you off, but like you were asking on kind of what the difference is like going over the scenario so many times and understanding that there's a solution for everything, no matter kind of what the situation is. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if A isn't working, it's B, you know, if B isn't working, it's C. So like just figuring that out on the field together in whatever situation it is huge.
Totally. Yeah. I think a lot of teams, they lose and they don't really know why. You know, they're not really sure how to assess like what went wrong in a point or in a match. And if that's where you're at, then you've got a long ways to go. It's going to be really tough to win. But if you can assess, and part of that is just letting the ego go as well. Sometimes players will be like, oh, no, it was like a lucky shot. You know, that won't happen again. Or it was this bounce shot. Or they're not honest with how things happen. So then you don't even have a good place to start. But if you can be honest with how you got shot, then you can assess and figure out like how to fix it, you know? And that's definitely something for better or worse. I mean, Dynasty has had that's something that Skinny Kevin does great. He doesn't allow us to have these 3-hour meetings anymore that are like, we just go in circles trying to come up with the perfect idea. Cause really there is no perfect idea, but you do have to be able to assess what went wrong and try to come up with the best solution moving forward for sure. I do think that's been a big strength of ours for sure.
Yeah, it was cool to see New York do so well. They had a really strong run until they met the axe of Marcelo, who came slicing through the middle. But man, they had a really
the Ryback.
Yeah,
yes. It was the Ryback.
Yes,
I was front row for that. Watching. Actually, I was like in the New York pit side when you did that move, and I watched you come all the way from the Dorito, boom, bunker the middle, bunker the snake player, and then the corner. And I was right there. I was like, damn, that was it right there. That was the move.
I'm not going to lie. That was one of the most fun moments I've ever had in paintball. Like fun, you know, like,
yeah,
I had seen that move a few different times throughout different matches, you know, like it just kind of opened up. There was a match against Latin Saints where I found myself through the center, ended up bunkering one of their guys. And like, I was realizing like, if they're in certain spots, there's this weird seam. And when I had gotten over behind Chris on the Dorito side, I had before that, like had Chris confirm that brick was there. I don't know if you remember Chris, but I was like, are you sure he's in that spot?
Yes.
You know, and then you like made sure to tell me he was on you. And I got kind of behind you and blocked myself out from the snake player. And as soon as I heard Blake say that snake guy was on him, I knew that he wasn't looking my way, to where if I would have bunkered Pat on the inside of the brick, the snake would have shot me. But I knew he was looking tape because of Blake. So I was like, oh, I've seen this move. I walked the field and saw this move. It's there. Let's go. And fuck, it just paid off, dude. And I'm not going to lie. It was incredibly fun and felt really good for something like that to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, it was through communication, you know, like if you're not getting that information, you can't make those decisions, you know, whether you think so or not, you can't.
You didn't believe he was in the brick, but I knew he was.
Yeah, I didn't, and then I was like, are you sure he's looking your way? And part of that is like, real quick, part of that is not having enough time with you. Like if it was Tyler, and we'd played together for so long, if Tyler were to tell me something like that, I'm like, okay, I know that he's sure. But I'm like, you sure, new guy? You sure? But you were sure, dude. You were absolutely sure.
Like the whole reason I was in that Dorito that far up was because I knew he was there. Yeah. And the reason I made that move to that Dorito is because I saw him make the move into the brick. So that was my timing to go right then when he was like still setting up into it.
Got it.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you created all that space too. Without you being that far up, Pat's not sucked in there playing you that way. Right. Yeah, so again, it's like playing off of your teammates is all that is. And listening to, gathering the information. You sucked Pat's gun into you, and Blake was kind of applying pressure on the other side. Same thing, absorbing that snake player's gun. And it was, it was the move that had to be made.
Yep.
Oh, it was fucking perfect. It was amazing. That was a great move.
Thank you, dude.
I actually have heard some people making similarities to Ollie's, and it does. Like when I saw you make the move, it did bring me back to that old Naughty Dog game. The old one on ESPN.
I know exactly which one you're
cuts
talking
the same kind of route system from left to right, and then gets a few bunkers. And it was a really powerful move in a huge moment to move into the finals. And I think the game was tied up at 1-1, I believe.
Yeah, it was 1-1. We were in overtime. We were in overtime. Yeah. So what's crazy too is I had almost a 2-hour conversation with Oliver on the Tuesday before we left for the event. We talked about all sorts of stuff, but a lot of it was going through some personal hurdles and like things that I wanted to overcome and accomplish this year, and we had a great conversation, really broke through on many different levels. And so then to have a moment that absolutely replicated like one of his biggest moves of all time. I mean, you could argue it was his biggest move of all time. That move on ESPN against the Naughty Dogs in Miami was like huge, all the way down to like, and again, everyone has sent me these. And so I didn't realize it until people had sent these to me. I truly didn't. Like, I don't know the last time I'd seen that video. I haven't seen that video since I was a kid. But even down to like us going out of bounds at the very end and putting our hand on our head, which is the way you signal yourself out in Europe, like it's a rule in Europe, but you don't have to do that in the US. But we both like go out of bounds after bunkering 3 people and then walk off with our hand on our head. Like it was really, really kind of strange. I was like, that's interesting. Let me see if I could pull it up. I have the video. I have
the OG one?
Yeah, the OG one. If I could pull it up.
Yeah, and then
so blurry.
New York was feeling it too. They placed.
Bro, they played great.
I can't remember what place they did. I think it was in the top 5 there. And
that was the semifinals. They got 4th.
They got 4th. Yeah, so they looked really good, and they're having a lot of fun. They were going ape shit in the pits and stuff and having a good time. And that's really good to see, because last season we weren't sure if they were going to be in the pros. They were fighting for their life, and to see them make such a transition into the new season is really cool.
Totally
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they played good.
I think I got it. I think I got it. This is the great thing about this new platform, is that we can do stuff like this. Okay, I'm going to pull it up and share. Let's see.
All right, YouTube.
Did that work? That worked.
Oh, that's sick.
Yep.
The quality is pretty bad, but yeah, it is what it is. Here we go. So
that's exactly what they need to be doing at this moment. They need to be intimidating the Dynasty.
Great fill by Alex Frazier.
I know, we'll just watch it.
Goes a walk off. He knows how.
Thank you. Shout out to Rafael Prado. This probably makes it to where we can't monetize this video, but whatever.
Will win. In this case right now, the Naughty Dogs are up 1 man. It's 5.
Yeah, tune in on YouTube.
Yeah, you guys got to tune in and check this out.
We got the dogs. Frazier comes through, gets one. And then Ollie fills the snake off of that move. And he picks up the quick kill down the wire.
And yeah, what's crazy is he's like on the 40-yard line on the snake side, and he cuts across to the Dorito side. Mine's a little opposite, Dorito side to snake side.
Yeah.
Right here, like he gets his kill.
Thanks for the run through by Alex Frazier, setting up for Oliver Lang.
And then boom, cuts inside.
They're all on one side of the field. Huge move. He just splits the seam. Oliver Lang coming through. Oh,
Boom, boom. That's tight.
Yeah. Same thing.
Sick.
That's funny.
And there's Ryan Greenspan coming right through to finish it up.
But like this part, hand on the head too, like it's super strange that was also the way this one went down.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Full circle.
Yeah, full circle.
There we go.
And yeah, I mean, Oliver has inspired so many players throughout the year. So, hey, props to him. Shout out to him. We had a great conversation and kind of channeled some Lang-esque stuff.
Hell yeah, you did. I mean, that move was powerhouse.
Let's see.
What event was that we just watched?
Miami NPPL 2000. Shoot, I forget what year.
It's like 5
or 4, something like that.
somewhere in there. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, not totally positive.
How old were you then, Chris?
I was born 91.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, almost our age. Yeah.
And it's all from the information, right? It's all from the read, from the team passing the ball around, getting the good info, and then seams open up like that.
100%. So, Chris,
Yep.
what's your plans heading into the next event?
Keep working out.
Yeah,
Mentally.
you gotta fix that hydration problem. We need to get you on transfuse, bro. You need
Dude,
more transfuse in your
I
life.
was actually good this event.
You must have been
reach-
drinking transfuse.
I was, yeah. Recharge. Actually, I went over to Transfuse and he hooked me up a couple times.
He's the man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Steven's
Steve's
the
the man.
best.
And
100%.
no, that long break we had, like I reset, took all my gear off, dried out all my stuff, recharged with, a couple sticks of Transfuse, set in the AC. I think that really helped. I mean, I felt really good for the finals match. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think going to the Vans was huge.
yeah.
100%. People get out of the sun. People don't realize like you're a battery out there. You're truly a battery out there, and people just drain themselves. And you don't realize, but like 2% down, if you make a bad decision off of that, that's a problem.
Yeah, I saw, and nothing against them, but before we played Damage, like after our semifinal match, I didn't see them de-gear. Like they stayed geared up, and I don't know if they were geared up that entire time, but it seemed
Oof.
like
Yeah.
that would have been hot, right? And then they probably played. I don't know if they played the same players over and over or not, but they seemed pretty gassed. I mean, like Brian Smith in that last point, like you could tell if you rewatch him in the webcast
Totally.
when he comes at
Yeah.
me, he looked gassed.
Yeah, I was like surprised when because it looked like he saw me and recognized where I was in that small little Dorito, and it looked like he just like kind of like walked through the gap, and I was like,
Yeah.
that was the easiest kill of the tournament. I was so surprised. He must have been tired.
Yeah.
Brian Smith is one of the most elite players in the league.
Yeah.
You got to be prepared for those moments. We always talk about on the show, if you get to the finals and you're a better, more talented, more prepared team than the other team, but your energy levels are at 60% and they're at 100%, you're probably not going to win. It's just the way it is. So
Been there.
yeah, it's brutal. Yeah. 100%. So
Yeah, and Florida takes it out of a lot of people. I mean, just the climate itself is a little more tropical. We got some questions in the Discord. I want to throw this one at you, Mr.
Nice.
Joe Ho. Chris, how is your relationship with Revo? I haven't seen any of the current Revo lads like or comment on your recent post to congratulate you
Why
on
are you
your
looking
win.
at that?
Yeah, but he's wondering how everything is with your relationship with those guys.
Everything's actually good. I talked to Henry, who was the main one that I thought was upset. Everyone else was pretty supportive of it. Talked to Henry. I'm actually in his wedding coming up, so that's great. Everything's good there. And then in terms of like winning, a lot of them actually reached out to me and said congrats, and was super cool about it. So
Good.
No bad blood there.
Nice.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Team Machine Matt, is winning your first event with your new team the sweetest moment in your paintball career to date? If not, what has been?
I would say absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, my dog's going crazy. If you can hear her.
I just heard maybe it was yours actually, because
Yeah, she's panting. So yeah, I absolutely think it was. Just nothing tops that. And I've won a World Cup before in semi-pro in 2012. That was awesome, but winning your first pro tournament's crazy. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
There we go. We got Lords_AJ. Chris, how easy was it to fit in with the Dynasty squad? How does it feel knowing they trusted you so much in a very big point in your first tournament with the team?
Yeah, we kind of hit on that a little bit earlier, but I mean, it's great. Like fitting in with those guys, it was almost like a perfect fit. And I feel like I heard that a lot from those guys, that they felt the same, which is really cool. And then, trusting me, I felt like, and for myself, like I play my best when I get to just get spins and keep playing. I know that's not always the case, but, in this tournament, it was like, I just kept playing, and I was just, gaining more trust. And eventually it was just me being myself out there. Like no second thoughts, second guessing, just playing my game.
Yeah.
Huge. Chris, you're the man, dude. We do got to call Mouse now, get him on the show. But it was an amazing weekend. Pleasure to share the field with you. Excited for the future, man.
Yes,
we got to keep working really hard. I know everyone's chopping at the bit, so we got to stay focused. But other than that, man, thank you, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Hell yeah.
Pleasure.
Any want to leave the PTG listeners with?
Hit me up on Instagram. Follow me. It's just Chris Schehr. And shout out to everybody. Happy birthday, Victor Gamboa. And,
yay, happy birthday, Vic.
Yeah, Vic.
Nice.
So
Awesome, Chris. Thank you, brother.
All right, have a good night, dude.
You too.
Peace.
Later.
What a great guy.
Oh, Chris is the man, dude. Seriously, I said that on the field. I love you, Chris, but I mean it. Like, got a lot of love for that guy. He's just he's a good person and a great player. So really cool to have him on the squad. I'm excited, man, and I know he's only going to get better, which is crazy. Like he's gotten this far, which he's already a dynamite player, but without really having like, a lot of direction in paintball philosophy, I think, in my opinion. And I think in this next year, he's going to really take another step and kind of create some separation, which is awesome. Okay, let's call the big dog, Mousy.
Mouse. Let's get him in here.
Old Mousy.
He's about to run rackets in this bitch.
He's about to run rackets. Can't wait. Oh, come on, Mouse.
PTG.
Hey,
PTG.
What's going on, guys?
What up, Mousy?
Live, baby.
When aren't we?
Yeah, we're
Shit.
always live. You're right.
Tell him.
We're always live.
Always live, especially in today's day and age.
Yeah.
Let's
No
get
lie.
into it. Don't do the small talk and ask me how my day is going. Let's
Well,
just get right into
I
it.
do want to know how your day's going, man. It's like, is it rough? Is it good? Is it...
Another successful day of making the job look like I know what I'm doing here. So keep the ball rolling, boys.
Dude, you've been telling me you're climbing up the ranks over there. They're giving you raise after raise, giving you new positions, offering all sorts of stuff.
I bought nicer clothes. I got them fooled.
No, don't sell yourself short, actually, because I think there's actually a really good lesson for the listeners, because obviously, you're one of my best friends. We talk a lot, outside of paintball, and you've accomplished in that field what not many people can with no background in it. You've taken your paintball background and the discipline that you that you have within the sport and applied it to that job, and it's really paid off, dudes. Can you share a little bit just kind of about that? Because again, you're like definitely punching above your weight in that field of like what they keep offering you, which is so funny. You're like, dude, I don't know why they're offering me all these positions, but it's because that's who you are. You're a winner. And it's like through this discipline and this work ethic. So kind of explain that a little bit.
Well, explain what I do or how to get there.
Nah, not what you do. Like what principles you've applied from paintball that have helped you gain success in a job that's unrelated to paintball.
So I think it's kind of always been in me to like have some sort of daily or weekly structure with some sort of workouts or some sort of goals that I want to achieve, whether it's short term or long term. So I think like the trick is to always keep your mind busy and focused on certain things. You know, when I wasn't doing my best mentally was when I was only playing paintball, which I thought would be a dream, but it's just paintball is not being played enough, and you can only do so much homework with the game to keep your mind busy.
Sure.
So having a job, going to the gym, having just, you know, outside chores to keep the mind going and not in your head all the time, I think is the true secret, just to keep progressing and gain that success. But as far as what I've accomplished here at my job, I mean, it's just, you got to just take it one day at a time, because anyone that knows that has a 9 to 5, there's no glory in it. That's for damn sure. I mean, it's a long term, it's a marathon, man. You just got to have a steady pace and figure out what is reasonable for your daily schedule.
Yeah, but
not the funnest thing, but I just learned to build a tolerance.
I guess I could argue that the glory is in getting recognition from whether it's your boss or a manager or whatever it is, getting recognition and getting promotions and getting, you know, paid well. I feel like that's all, you know, a little bit of glory.
Yeah.
It's not fame, but it's glory, you know, certainly. And that's stuff that people struggle with every single day. They struggle within their jobs and the workforce, and they like, you know, have a tough time making ends meet.
You know, it might have been like the little things that helped me climb the ranks here. There's so many people that complain, like dwell on the negative things that come with this job or just any job in general. And I would always just keep my head down and keep grinding. And maybe that's what they really appreciated is I stayed out of management's hair that way. And like, well, this guy really is setting the example here. Let's keep moving him up. So, yeah, it's been great. And now currently I'm in training, and my mentor, this guy is so awesome. He used to be the punter for LSU back in the day. And, I mean, punter is way different than any other position in football, but he at least understands like the athlete mindset, especially like, you know, how we apply ourselves mentally and get ready for competition. So I think he saw that in me and could easily relate, and is kind of taking me under his wing. And it's just the perfect mentor, especially in this industry that's super competitive in the medical field. And I think I'm going to do well.
Yeah, Mouse, real quick, because I know you talked about it on the previous episodes and last time you're on PTG, but just for the listeners, if they haven't heard that episode, what do you do?
Yeah, I work at a molecular diagnostics lab. So usually anybody that talks about a laboratory that they work at, each lab has different departments, and within those departments run a specific test. So here at our lab, we have what's called toxicology. That's a urine sample that comes in, and they'll test for certain drugs in a patient's system, depending on what type of facility that patient comes from. So if it's a rehab facility, they were obviously testing for absolutely no drugs in that person's system. Or if the sample's coming from a doctor, they want to make sure their patient's taking the exact and correct amount of prescription drug. That way they can diagnose what to do going forward. Then we have the molecular side that was dealing with COVID testing, but obviously that's kind of dropped off. So now they've refocused on UTI, STI testing for women's health, and a wound test that I'm still learning about, but you can test based on like a patient's cut. They do some sort of test, make sure there's no infectious diseases.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's so many things to learn.
Who would have thought, dude? The snake god is
well.
Also has a job like that.
I gotta shout out to my sister. She's a clinical lab scientist, Alex Goldman, and she got me involved in the industry back when I first joined Impact, 2016, and I was just doing data entry at this job at the time, and eventually I had an opportunity to do sales there, but wasn't really ready at the time, just maturity and where I was at in life. So I left But during COVID, from that job, I had built such a good rapport with management there. They had changed labs to where I'm at now. Eventually got this job during COVID. It's funny because now management has completely changed, and everyone I've known here, I've met just at this job, not from the previous job. So it's interesting where life takes you, man.
Totally.
I kind of just write my own path at this point. I don't even work with my sister, so
that's why it's so important to nurture every relationship that you have. You never know what opportunity it's going to lead to. You never know. Like it's people their rebuttal and the negative, reply to that will be, oh, you're only being nice to people for your own benefit. That's not true. Right. It's just good to be good to people, period. You should be as good to others as possible. But
that's definitely a good lesson. But I think the biggest one this one has taught me is that being okay with change and learning how to adapt with it.
Yeah, certainly.
The change from impact to diesel, I think I would have been completely terrified a few years ago. But now that I've dealt with a similar thing in the corporate world, that I was better prepared for something like that. So,
yeah, 100%.
Hell yeah. Well, keep crushing it, dude. You're fucking dominating in that industry, and it's going to be something that, because paintball doesn't last forever. You know what I mean? And to be able to have that background, that's huge,
dude. It's going to last forever.
Which one?
Paintball. It's going to last forever.
Oh,
yeah. I don't think we're going to stop anytime soon. Mouse, let's talk about that a little bit. Diesel, first event with the new squad. You guys kicked our ass in practice on Thursday. I was like, fuck. I don't know if we're just playing really bad or they're playing really good. I think it's a mix of both. Let's talk about it. Obviously not the performance you guys wanted for the first event.
Yeah, I'm still kind of going through all of it in my head. Like, where did it go wrong and why? That's like the most frustrating thing about all of this is we clearly showed that we could play to what the layout was asking for. And we were playing well as a team. It's just, I don't know if we had been truly tested until the tournament started as far as losing bodies early in points and consistently losing them and figuring out with the remaining bodies alive in each point how to pull it back or just win the point with low body. I mean, that was such a tough field. If you went down bodies to pull those ones back,
totally,
you really couldn't afford to do that unless you got the body count equal quick before they even realized they had the advantage. But
what's crazy? Just real quick, Mouse. Yeah. All event was like hard to shoot people on the break. Not hard, but not many people were getting shot on the break. And the story was definitely, if you get the first kill, you're going to win. It was hard to win down body situations. The finals was nuts. There were multiple points where one team shot 2 bodies on the break. 2, not 1 or 2.
Way different.
And then Damage won a 2-on-5. And then Dynasty won a 2-on-3. Like it was just crazy. It was completely off script. Like the final match was completely off script. It was fucking wild.
Yeah, so you got to be ready for everything on Sunday in general.
Totally.
Yeah, some guys just didn't play well, and there's not even a reason to drop names. I mean, those guys know, and it's not just one man's fault from our team. It's definitely a team thing that we need to work on here. I mean, one thing I tried to make sure of, even at the practices, was don't put this pressure on each other for a certain result going into the year. I know at some point it's going to click and it's going to make sense and it's going to work for this team. But, don't focus so much on the result. We just need to really put the work in and it'll all fall into place. But I think certain guys felt a certain pressure with the hype that came with the off-season moves. And I hate that because I've done this before and I know how to avoid it at this point. But
yeah, but you guys, Mouse, you guys did the same thing last year with 4 of you and you guys got to the finals. You guys, your first event. So
I think, yeah, it was a little different financially. I felt like the guys felt like they won regardless, so it didn't matter.
Oh, you mean last
At
year?
least what was going to be on paper, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
it was party.
that was a little
time.
different, and the atmosphere was way different. I mean, yeah.
How so?
This timer, well, Diego didn't know exactly what it takes to run a paintball team and have a successful one at that. I mean, that guy, I think, just wanted to party and play on his VR game.
Yeah,
I'm not even sure he cared how well we did. But yeah, it was also so new too for everyone. Just the change at the time. It was just different.
How is is that different from Diesel? So what's different about Diesel than that?
It's more of like a locked in, like these guys are all about the game. Like that all they talk about is strategy, and
gotcha.
You know, they're complete nerds in the most respectful way.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Paintball
nerds.
And I also think Mark, you know, the way he carries himself, obviously way different than a guy like Diego. I just felt like guys maybe feel the pressure of trying not to let him down, and like that was kind of a feeling I had right away as soon as we had the performance we had at the event.
How did you put that stuff aside? Because you, in my opinion, had a great event.
Well, it's just being a professional. I mean, there really shouldn't be anything as far as pressure. I mean, what is pressure if you're putting the work in? There's no such thing.
There's no such
thing. You should strive in those situations. If other people are calling that pressure, that's your time to shine. Like I always I wait for these moments. I wait for the times that it's me and somebody else on the field one-on-one. Marcelo knows. So, one thing I did want to say, though, that stood out to me for some reason at the event was when we're playing Heat, and it gets to that point where it's like, yeah, they have it in the bag, which was earlier than usual in the match. But I'm walking down the snake side off the field, and Tyler eventually gets shot, or the point ends, and Tyler's kind of like demanding a handshake, but like in a respectful way. And I'm just like, yeah, this guy's a professional, man. And he could tell like I was just trying to avoid it all, like eye contact, everything, because I was so pissed. But it was almost like he felt for me, or at least that's what my interpretation was of it.
Yeah, no, I did.
I don't know.
And you did shake my hand like a professional.
I did. Because I respect you.
I know, and I know you didn't want to, but that says a lot about you as a man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yep. Yeah, dude. The tournament obviously didn't go your guys' way. You guys fought tooth and nail, and you're right, Mouse. There was a lot of games where your players were just getting shot out of their bunkers, and you're having to play down on bodies. And in that particular layout is just not the one. You got to fill those voids like really quickly, or like you said, even it up before they know that they have an advantage. And if you don't, you're in a bunch of trouble on that layout.
For sure. Yeah. And, you know, just to say, it obviously changed for everybody in the league, but I think it maybe would have been a better outcome if that cake wasn't added on the snake side, just because we were having success keeping eyes and keeping control on that snake side. Once they added that cake, it's kind of like just bang it out, trade that body.
It changed really the whole field. It changed the whole field. I couldn't believe
it changed for everyone, but
I couldn't believe that little bunker changed so much. But actually, you would, in my opinion, I think it made it better for your skill set because it made the snake more productive. That's my opinion of it. It made it harder to lock down. So when that happened, you were one of the players I thought of. I was like, oh, well, this benefits Mouse. You know, he's going to be able to get into that 50 area a little bit easier and cause some chaos. Same thing like Chad George, you know, the elite snake attackers in the game. I thought Malloy would have played that spot. I think it was a big disservice to his team that he was playing that inset spot, actually. But
I think there's,
you think there's what?
No, I just when stuff like that happens, I feel like there's layers that build to a point where you allow a player like you've listed to kind of go off on a certain side, and we never got to that layer for that off, and it sucks. I don't even like saying it because it feels like an excuse. Like, yeah, I should just be able to go steal some points regardless of what the ball count is, or yeah, dude. It's just all I can sum it up as just frustrated. That's really what it came down to, and I think one thing I really got to get better at is like truly being in the moment and helping staff, management, whatever, figure out what the quick solution is in that moment. You know, maybe I should have spoke up and said some players needed to stop having a chance, and we gave, you know, a bit too much hope in them kind of breaking through the problems they were having and go on with a different look. But it's so hard when you're a player on the field going through those moments to try to like take a step back and figure out what is the quick solution. And that's why I love this game. You know, I feel like there's so many players in the top division, like so afraid to lose or test their ego. But I don't know. I've watched a lot of Kobe YouTube, especially after his passing, and he's just so spot on. It's like, you should never be afraid about winning or losing, because in the end, it's like, it's all a building project. Each tournament is a project. And even if you don't get the result you're looking for or want, it's still something to build off of. Like, leaving this tournament, we have certain things we need to work on. That's easily something to build on.
It gives you a blueprint to do something you enjoy. And Kobe talks a lot about enjoying the practice and the process more than anything. That's why he was so obsessed. And you and I relate to that a ton. I'm sure I've watched every single YouTube video you have on Kobe. I don't think there's a piece of film on Kobe that I haven't seen. And it's weird. It's weird to say that and like sound kind of obsessive about another athlete, but I don't know. It's like our generation. And if you followed anything about basketball, we're from Southern California too. So it was easy to be a Kobe fan. And, you know, you're right. He's so spot on with so much of what he says. And that is the direction, is the process is the most fun part. And when you come back from an event and whether you fall short or you succeed, actually, there's things that you can take and say, okay, for the next event, this is what we need to be better at. And that's the fun part, is like recognizing what could be improved, putting together your own formula for a plan, some sort of thing to improve that, and then seeing if it worked. Like, that's the challenge, is seeing if what you are trying to improve is improved upon through your process.
For sure.
That's the best part of sports. Like, that's why it's another reason the one layout weekend versus two. I'm like, no, I love the two because I'm obsessed for 3 weeks, you know, and maybe it's a sickness. Maybe it's not good. Maybe it's not healthy, but I love spending every single second thinking about the field and what, if this, then that. If they're here, I do this. If we lose this player, I can do that. You know, like if the score is 4-2 and we're down with 2 minutes, this is what I'm going to do on this field. You know, like all these things, you can go through an infinite amount of variables, you know, and you can try so hard to just like obsess over the layout, you know, and that's our game. That's paintball. That's sports too. And yeah, it's the process. Then you show up at the tournament and it's fun, and yeah, you're competing, and there's really nothing like competing, because that's when you're actually tested. That's when you get to really see if like you were right or wrong. But ultimately the process is like the super addictive part. The process is what makes me, you know, live healthier day to day, makes me live better day to day, make better decisions, you know, not destroy my body every weekend going out partying, you know, like the process is what keeps me focused and keeps me feeling good and keeps me happy. You know, like that's what kicks my dopamine, you know, accomplishing things every single day to earn, you know, towards that goal. Like those are the things that make you happy.
You know, I agree.
Yeah, shit, straight up. I know Tyler does too.
It's weird though. Like, as much as I was frustrated with how we ended up doing it, for some reason I was having so much fun, like just playing and maybe it's the way this team's utilizing me and allowing me to play a certain game, but I just feel like I'm getting back to that, like just that true dog in me. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, anytime you get to play every point, and the team's going to give you the freedom, you're the type of player that's going to thrive in that, you know? So yeah, like that's a lot of the top players. If you get to play every point and you have the freedom to make like a mistake or two, you're going to have more success and you're going to have more fun. And it's way easier to enter flow state. It's really hard in this game to play every other point or have two lines. It's really hard because we play like, you know, especially on a field like this, that means you might get 1 or 2 points a match. Like, you know, there's a lot of low scoring games, but even in a regular event, if you're, you know, splitting time with lines, okay, so you might play 4 points in a match. Okay, so the first point, maybe you risk and you get shot. Now the second point, you're kind of which is really the 4th point in the match. Your second point on the field, if it's like a tie game or something, or maybe you're down 1, now you're like, shit, should I take this risk? I know it might be a good move, but now I'm already questioning it. So it's too late. You know, like it's a total difference maker, you know? Whereas if you're playing every point and you're on that 4th point, like you're not caring too much about the risk because you know the next point you can conserve. And if you're a really elite player, those risks are often going to pay off and the percentages are just in your favor if you're playing more. So it's, I mean, does that make sense? Do you agree with that, Mouse?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's,
Go
ahead.
Well, no, I was kind of also thinking about something off subject there was you guys obviously won. Is there something that you say to the new pickups, like how to deal with what's about to come going forward as far as now, obviously they have the target on them and
that's a great question. And I think it's kind of like just team culture. It's not quite after the win. I think it was before the win, preparing them for this kind of stuff too, is like, look, we have a process. We're going to learn the field and we're going to try to come up with the best way to play it. We're going to enjoy it. Let's go out, make sure that we don't leave any stone left unturned, basically, right? Put in the work. And the other stuff you can't control. Now that they got the win, the new guys, Harrison, Chris, it's not so much about a target being on your back. It's more about just continuing to do the things that allowed you to perform in the first place. Like I'm incredibly impressed that Chris and Harrison had some good moments Sunday too, but Chris played a lot of points. Chris really had some huge moments on Sunday. And I'm impressed with how he handled the pressure. So I don't think he needs much from us other than we believe in you, you know? And it's, you know, if we believe in you, then you should believe in you. And if you believe in you, then cool. The cards will fall where they fall. You know, like a target on your back. I mean, I don't know. Like, is that even a thing?
Well, it's just, I think it is. Naturally, when you're having the success that you guys have had, it's like people are going to play you guys harder. They're going to respect your guys' game more. So you're always going to get the absolute best from each opponent.
Yeah, so that's certain.
What's considered the target.
That's certain. You definitely get the best from everybody, but that's a blessing in my opinion, because you learn quick throughout events. And you're able to like really see what's right and what's wrong early. You know what I mean? So to me, definitely. I prefer that. Like I always want the toughest bracket because that's the only way to be prepared for Sunday. You don't want the easy bracket. You don't want to go untested. So it's a similar thing. I want teams to play us as hard as they can because it's an illusion if teams don't, and then you see a team on Sunday that plays you as hard as they can. So it's a blessing. Yeah. They just got to play as hard as they can, and we have to play as hard as we can, you know? This game's all confidence. You both know that. Everyone here.
Yeah, for sure.
The three on this call, like we've been in this a long time. It's confidence, man.
I had a question actually for Tyler. Was, do you already have, and I'm sure the answer or what the solution should have been to change the outcome of you guys falling short on Sunday?
Yeah. We needed to be a little bit more versatile and press. I mean, we did not press the way that we had pressed all weekend. Like all of the success that we had leading into Sunday, it was like something
like across
changed.
The board?
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, we were not in the 50s the way that we were all weekend. Yeah. We didn't press it the way that we had been pressing it. And we just got to, on Sunday morning, nothing has changed. You got to come correct. You got to play that good connected paintball, and you got to get up in the mix. You got to be in the mix, making shots in the spots and dancing out there. If you're sitting back and waiting for things to happen, it is not going to go your way. You got to go and take those moments and make them yours. And unfortunately, we did not do that on Sunday morning. We did not go and take moments and make them ours. And that is why Damage was able to, win that overtime point. And it shouldn't even gone to overtime. We should have been able to, keep that game in our court and be able to win that and not even allow that to happen.
That's a tough thing with Sunday. Sometimes you have to do something a little unorthodox or out of your comfort zone from the rest of the tournament building into that, because, obviously at that point, usually whoever you're playing has the scouting report or knows or thinks they know and is anticipating a certain style from you.
So you throw a little ram jam at that ass. You know what I mean? Like you got to.
But the ram jam has to work. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to do something. Switch it up. But we, the guys are hungry. We're having a lot of fun. And we're definitely excited for event number 2 and the preparation, like we've been talking about. It's all about your preparation. I feel like our preparation is really good. We're enjoying that process. Expect for us to definitely be making those pushes into the finals and hopefully, getting a trophy hoisted up. And I know that every single one of us, Marcelo, obviously you're having a hell of a run with Dynasty. Mousy, you've won tournaments. We've all won tournaments. We know what that feeling is like. We know what it takes. It's just, it comes down to confidence, dude. Like within everybody, it's got to be a resounding just amount of confidence from the entire organization to make moves, to make, the right decisions and stay connected and win tournaments.
100%.
Dude, the 3 right here are some OG alumni.
Yeah.
That have seen it and been at the top for a long time, man. I love the friendships we have here. I really do. Now, Mouse, what do you feel about the 1 weekend layout after the tournament's over now?
I'm with you. I would rather have, a longer time to prepare. I know the argument is it like slows the field down even more.
See, I don't think it does, dude. I really don't think it does.
I don't think it does.
I feel like the smart players find more dynamic moves.
Right. People are a little more hesitant when you've only had 1 weekend because they're unsure of their moves.
Dude, I'm really glad to hear you, one of the most aggressive players in the game, say that and solidify what I've been fucking saying. Yeah.
I didn't feel hesitant out there, but I'm just,
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, we at least had a week on it, so we got to learn, but
it makes the tournament, the story of each event, even more dramatic. It just builds, another week, and it's right. So it's
yeah.
But
I agree.
We don't make the calls, so what are you going to do?
I know. I'm sure they'll go to blind.
I thought most of it was anticipating some sort of recession this year. Wasn't that the case? It didn't really have anything to do with. Not
that I'm aware of. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe, they want to make it.
I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, this will just be a one-off change here. We'll go right back to 2 next year.
You think so? I think we might go to blind next year.
I mean,
it wasn't a league decision. It was voted amongst the 20 pro teams,
which is so weird. Because I'd like to get on the phone with some of these teams.
Me too.
And talk some sense into them.
The teams that voted for it are the teams that thought it would be in their benefit. I'm like, oh, you guys are silly.
Well, the argument to that is this event, it did seem like more teams that didn't make Sunday in the past now did.
You know what's funny, though? But I think that was more the field than one layout.
It was the field, kind of neutralized everything.
Because what do all the top teams say? Don't get into long points with teams that are not as good as you, right? And you were forced to play long points. So, you could beat somebody 1-0, but if one of the bottom tier teams has to play AC Diesel, Heat, Dynasty, 15 points, they're not going to win the match. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
So Yeah, I think that has more to do with the field layout than the one weekend. But we'll see. We have 4 more events, to actually, see if that's true or not.
Right.
How was it having A-Rod back? He's back in the mix. He took most of last season off. I was excited to see him back.
He was pretty good headache since he's been back. You guys dealt with him before.
How so? Give us an A-Rod story.
You gotta approach him a different way if you want to get him on the same page with you.
Totally.
Otherwise, he's gonna fight you tooth and nail with what he thinks should be the way a field played or any sort of strategy for that matter. But
totally.
Yeah, you know what you get.
Yeah, I mean, he's an elite level talent, and he understands the game. So it's like, it is an interesting thing with him because, it's not necessarily that he's wrong, but he also might not be right. And like, right. That's a real thing. I know that sounds like it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. Especially in paintball, like I've really learned this over the last couple of years of like, I have a way that I see the field and how it should be played, and it could be 100% right. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that a different idea from somebody else is wrong. That could also be right. And it's like, you have to be able to collaborate with your teammates and agree on different things to do, because we're not talking about the best way to play the field. We're talking about a way to play the field, and you need multiple A ways to play the field. You're not just trying to show up to the venue with one best way to play the field. You need to show up with multiple ways to play the field. And I think that's where success comes from, as far as a strategy standpoint, is knowing like,
different paces,
totally different paces, different attacks, different things, and you could have multiple versions of each, and it's important to listen to your teammates and collaborate on these things. Otherwise you do get in this like tooth and nail battle that doesn't get anywhere. And then whatever plan you come up with, there's no confidence in. And what did we talk about? Confidence. Confidence is huge. Everyone has to believe in the plan.
Well, that's why I like to play matches at some point that keeps the score in time.
Totally.
So you get into those situations.
Totally.
And you know what to do with them. Yeah, for sure.
Best way to practice.
Otherwise, you're kind of just doing aimless points.
Right.
With no true goal.
Totally, dude. Yeah, that's absolutely
I think practices like for every team in paintball could be way more efficient. I don't know if there's any sport other than maybe like cross country where they're training 8 hours a day off one meal, going to bed and doing it again the next day. I think you could do a lot more high intensity and split the days up, but tough, right?
Dude, it's tough because paintball is like a weekend thing and everyone has to have real jobs. But like ideally you would play like for 2 hours each day, right? You would do a 45-minute match, take like a 30-minute break, and then do another 45-minute match, and then you would be done for the day. Right. And then come back and do it again the next day. Like that would be the way to train,
Yeah, I think that's what the Russians do. They just don't tell you.
Yeah. No, it is what they do. 100%. 100% is what they do. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you've never booked with them before.
Let's talk about the Russians, though, bro. What the hell happened? What was wrong with them?
Well, they didn't have Smotroff, did they?
No, they didn't. That's only one of their 4 starters, though. I don't think that warrants going 1-4 or 1-0-4. Or did they go 1-3? 1-3 or 0-4?
Either way, it wasn't what they should have done.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's a weird one. It's well, for that type of field, I can guarantee you they didn't carry enough paint.
That's so funny, dude, because when we practiced that the first weekend,
4 pods.
Yes.
When a point's going on,
100%.
Wait that guy out, man.
Dude, so they were in our bracket, so obviously I was thinking about them when we were practicing, and as soon as we practiced on the field, I was like, oh man, not a good field for the Russians. They're not gonna have enough paint. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah, Malloy was carrying 4 pods.
Yeah. No, I'm sure he was at 5 or 6.
No, he was carrying 4. I swear. I swear. Yeah, I was watching. He was carrying 4 pods.
I think Tyler does the same thing, though.
He's upgraded the last couple of years.
I usually carry 6.
Yeah,
but I had 8. I was rocking 8 out there.
Tyler used to be the
There
four
you
pod
go.
guy.
Heavy gunner. He's back.
Yeah.
You too, Mouse. You were the four pod guy for so long.
Yeah,
And
but I was actually taking real estate.
Yeah.
Tyler's back there one balling.
Fucking Mikey, dude. Mikey carries 4 pods. And I'm like, Mikey, why are you taking 4 pods? And he's like, I'm trying to get people, you know? And I'm like, I get it, dude, but I need you applying pressure. You know, I need you like shooting your gun and getting to these spots and applying pressure. And he's like,
it's tough for him though. He runs like he has 10 on him.
Don't talk about Mikey like that. You know? I'm like, Mikey, I need you to shoot your gun. You got to shoot, you know? No, you're not. And he brought it back. He's like, Mouse carries 4 pods. I'm like, he carries. I'm like,
there you go.
I'm like,
now you know who his favorite is.
Well, 100%. But I was like, you know, well, I hate to break it to you. You're not Mouse. All right. Don't try to be Mouse. You're your own guy. You're your own guy, Mikey. You're your own damn guy. Right? Like you're a bruiser. You're a bully. Shoot your gun. Shoot your gun. Right? Just be dominant. And he's like, nah, I'm carrying 4. I'm like, oh, fuck. All right.
yeah. Well,
but you don't carry 4 either anymore, dude. That's the thing.
Right.
You don't either anymore because you realize that it's not the move.
No. Yeah, I'm 6.
Yeah, 6. But yeah, you're definitely. I'm pretty positive you're Mikey's favorite player. You know, you guys play like the same position, or at least he used to be. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like you anymore.
Yeah. I do talk a lot of shit.
Since he started winning more than you're not really his favorite.
Yeah, he probably thinks he's better.
So,
Mike's a fucking man, dude.
Mousy, before we get into we got some Discord questions and stuff. I want to bring it full circle with with obviously, you know, we haven't talked to you since you left Impact. You know, what was that transition like, and like kind of the nuts and bolts of why that decision was made and how that all transpired? I know that you know, there's been a lot of rumors tossed around, but just from your perspective and your take on how that all went.
You know, out of respect for Impact and the management there, I don't want to get completely into it, but well, I'll just say this. Since I left, I do feel like everything that I had wanted to accomplish and do on that team for sure had done. I do think at some point in life in anything that you should make the decision to move on and try something new. And I think it was perfect timing for me to continue on and start a new journey with whatever team it was going to be. And I regardless of how they feel about it, I have no hard feelings. It's probably not mutual, but at the end of the day, I respect the hell out of that organization and all the players. But
I'm sure it wasn't an easy decision, man.
What do you?
No.
Yeah. What do you think?
I also think.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Well, I just think also the dynamic and just how maybe Bart and Dave looked at Rab and myself might have changed once we had went to the Saints and then came back. But I don't have like any facts on that. It's just me speculating.
Yeah.
What do you think their shortcoming was this event?
I'm not going to teach them that.
Stop teaching them, dude. Come on. Look, the pros know. They know what their shortcomings are. This is for the listeners, dude.
Then you say it for all of us. It's been the same problem for years.
Oh, so you think it's that they run 2 lines?
Man, if only that was $1 million. Right there. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, dude, it's tough to run 2 lines on Sunday, man, especially with a field like this where like it's every point is so crucial.
Yeah. And they could have just picked 5 out of the hat and
100%.
Probably had a different result.
100%. I think that's why you saw. I think that's another reason you saw some of the lower tier teams will say that only run 5 or 6 guys on a low scoring field.
That's
have
the thing
success.
on this
I think that
field.
played. Yeah. Like you're only going to get 4 or 5 points.
Yes, this field was all about momentum in the reps because it was so limited.
Totally.
So You can't fuck around. They found out.
Brutal. Fuck around and find out. Yeah, I know. But it's crazy. How do they not how do they not realize
there's got to be more to it because it's not a lack of knowledge. There's more to it. Yeah.
It's interesting because there's something about giving your guys a chance to get it.
Yeah, maybe it's more so, everybody's on a salary, so they feel obligated to utilize everyone.
But if everyone's on a salary, that means you're paying to win. So
I know,
so
but if
doing the best.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we have our view on how we would run that team.
Yeah,
they have theirs.
Totally.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there is only one right answer, but
yeah, an interesting one.
But they're gonna listen to this and now change it, and so enjoy the run you had.
You think they're better than both of us, even if they go to five players?
No, they're just completely filled with talent. There's not really a flaw
100%.
there.
Yeah, they have every position. Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I mean, it's tough, dude. It's tough because if you play two lines, it's funny. Damage won an event last year doing exactly that.
Well, it's a great strategy in the prelims. Now you're figuring out your depth when it gets down to it, and it's keeping guys fresh. But on Sunday, I just feel like there's no excuse. Everyone should have that battle mentality of ready to play every point at all costs.
Straight up.
You just have to go with a certain five, and yeah. I mean, obviously, it gets a bit tricky when you're not getting a certain production out of one of those five that you called, but
you got to be ready to change that. Yeah, change it quick.
But if you're not giving it an honest look, then you're never going to know who was supposed to be out there for the fair share.
Question for you, Mouse. You're in the finals, right? This is a hypothetical situation. You're in the finals.
I realize that.
You're in the I didn't even mean it that way. That's hilarious. All right, you're in the finals, and it's 3-3, 20 seconds left. You're going into overtime, right? And you have a player that is not a household name. One of the new players is playing very well. And you have another player that's a household name, has pulled out many big time moments, has been clutch, been there. But for some reason in this particular match has struggled. In the overtime point, you have to choose between those two players. Who do you go with? The one who's seasoned, that has done this, that has been there, but is kind of struggling in that match, or the player who has never been there, but is playing incredibly well?
I mean, you can look at that one or two ways. The experienced player, you would hope that he knows how to step up in that moment because he's been there, and it's big boy time to step up in that moment. Or you give the young buck a chance, because if you don't, when does he ever get to experience that moment? And
absolutely,
right. And then again, momentum's a weird thing in paintball. If the kid's hot, he probably has the better chance to still make something happen for your team if it comes down to that.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
I mean,
it's a tough one.
That happened to me actually when we were on the Ironman in 2007. I thought I went from the worst match in my career to the best tournament of my life, because we changed how I needed to play the field. But getting to my reason here was, we were in the finals with Russians. It went to overtime, and my line's back out there, but I get sat for Miko, who was on the other line, and I just think that was just an experience call.
Yeah,
but
totally.
I felt great that whole match, and I just felt like, at least personally, obviously it's biased, but I felt like I deserved that moment.
Totally.
I had shown nothing but reliability as far as survival and doing my job. And then, of course, he gets shot off the break.
Did he really?
We still won the tournament.
Yeah, we won the tournament. I remember that.
He got shot. Yes.
Oh my God. That's funny. You remember that so vividly. I don't remember that.
Yeah. I never forgot it.
Yeah.
So
it is. You're right. It's an interesting thing. Do you give the new player that's playing well an opportunity to have a moment that could turn that player into that experienced, poised player, right? Like that's a big opportunity. Or do you go with the reliable one who has continuously stepped up in those positions? There's a lot of nuance that if you're the coach,
long term, you go with the kid.
Yeah.
Short term, you go with the seasoned vet.
Agreed. I don't think it's that black and white though. Actually, I think there's a lot more nuance, right? Like it would depend on like exactly how the match is going. How bad is the experienced player playing? How good is the not experienced player playing? There's nuance to it. It's kind of an impossible question, but you painted the picture on both sides of like, you know, what each means, which is fantastic.
Right.
Yeah, dude, it's definitely a tough question, and you gotta be ready for those moments. You know what I mean? Like,
what's your answer, Tyler?
Well, I mean, it's all in the flow of how the players are playing. If your stud's playing good, play your stud. If the kid's playing good, play the kid. It's just like you got to drop the ego, and we got to get this shit done. I don't care how it gets done. Let's get it done. You know, and that comes to the coaching staff making big decisions, and those aren't easy as well. But at the end of the day, we got to make educated decisions to make sure we get the job done out there. And this kind of plays into Chris's question. Go ahead, Mouse.
Real quick, your guys' game went to overtime, you said, on Sunday, right?
That's correct.
Who was on the snake side as the one for you in that last point? Chad or?
It was I believe it was Chad.
So then Connor sat?
I think so. I believe that is correct.
Man, and I thought that kid was having a decent tournament.
He was having a great tournament.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Well, there it is right there. There's your situation.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I didn't watch Chad enough to know if he was having a good or bad tournament. I just know Connor was like willing to do his job to a T at all costs.
Yeah, Chad was stunting out there too. All the guys were hitting out there. It's just for some reason on Sunday we weren't pressing it as hard, and like we kind of you just got to keep pressing into those 50s, especially on this layout. If you're not in that snake side 50, moving into the middle 50, helping each other out, it's going to be a tough day on that layout. But you know,
for sure.
You got to be bobbing and weaving out there. We got
always.
Yeah, Chris is wondering, do you feel like the struggles from the first tournament were just you guys still finding that chemistry as well for you guys on Diesel?
Yeah, I think the chemistry, which kind of translated to consistency, because we would lose faith way too quick in a match, even when it started out perfect for us in the first few points. And then as soon as we would get tested in each match, it was like heads down, lost complete hope for whatever reason, which is so weird because I don't know. For me, I don't care what the situation is. I'm always going to just fight. So,
yeah, totally.
I think we'll continue to learn how to work this out, and we'll continue to get better.
How important is it for you to get a win with Diesel this year? Do you think that that's like a big kind of legacy thing if you do or don't, or do you feel pretty comfortable with what you've done already?
No, I mean, you should never be comfortable. Being comfortable is complacent, but you should also not expect a certain result like we talked about earlier. It's the main things that you should focus on is, I mean, cliche, be a good teammate, but focus on always figuring out how to put out a maximum effort. Like the last thing you want to do, regardless of the end result, is thinking that you could have done more. That is the worst feeling beyond any loss. So at least in an individual perspective, I always just try to make sure that my efforts are maximized and I give it everything. And that's why you see me bleed so much emotion, because I'm fucking pouring it all out there. And sometimes I could get offensive within my teammates in the pit because I want them to fucking feed off what I'm trying to show out there and just be on that same level, that same page. Because if I can get them to that mindset and that hunger, then it's fucking lights out and it's game over for everyone. But that's one thing I've always struggled with is trying to make that type of feeling contagious. And who knows, maybe I fucking intimidate people too much, whether it's in my circle or not. But I'm going to continue to learn and grow. And I think it's only up.
You just articulated that very well, dude. That was a great response.
I think you just underestimate me, but thanks.
I just assume off what I have to work with usually. You know, our normal conversations don't
it's
have
always just like a bunch of jokes usually, but when we're live, we're locked in, baby.
You just articulated that very well. Nice job, dude. You must have been reading this last week. Where did you learn those words?
Oh, wow.
That was the Kobe
podcast, maybe.
Podcast, maybe. You must be listening to a lot of PTG, brother.
I wish I could give the credit. No. I do, though. I do listen to you guys a lot.
Dude, that's the biggest compliment ever. Again, like, to have like the high level pros tune into the show is that's dope.
You guys are killing it, though. You guys have the perfect platform. You bring on interesting people and you bring up the relevant topics. It's like like fucking
baby.
The news for paintball.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Turn on the television. What's going on today?
Turn it on. What's popping?
Straight up.
Yeah, man. One thing that does bug me is when you guys use your fucking name in the huddle. Just play the game, baby. It's like, oh God, don't do it, please. Can you guys just save it? Save it for the fucking podcast.
PTG,
baby, to the moon. Y'all gotta play him.
And I feel like this has been a long time coming because I saw a video that was way before you guys had the podcast, and you guys were saying play the game before.
Yeah, it started out in Prague in like 2000.
Yeah,
you both.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's funny.
That's you guys were saying just play the game, baby.
Play the game, baby.
Yeah,
that's 100%. That's when it started a long time ago. That's why, like, when we came up with the show, like, play the game. For all the YouTubers, we got Piper. She's on the show now. She's been barking, so we got to bring her on. She's
young Piper the dog.
Piper is the girlfriend's dog. Yeah. All right. Meme Machine Matt wants to know, what do you think is the best aspect of your game, and what are you trying to improve the most on?
People would assume my speed, but I think it's my IQ.
It's not your speed. Yeah, dude. It's not your speed at all.
I think I dissect the fucking chess game faster and more efficient than most.
So it is your speed, just your mental speed.
Yeah, mental speed, and then the physical is bonus.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Yeah, the way you process moves.
But that's the thing. I don't want to short that answer because if you're going to be a top dog in this game, you cannot be a specialist. Yeah. So as much as I'd like to say, like, the IQ of the game is my strength, dude, there's so much more that is like right behind it that supports it.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
totally.
So
fundamentals,
I
accuracy,
think
speed. Yeah. You know, like everything.
And you see it all given the situation and whatever the layout or the situation in a match. But you're going to see it all. So.
Willingness too. You have like an amazing willingness to just act on your instinct, you know?
For sure. That's the confidence.
Yeah, totally. It's a confidence. It's a big part of it.
Yeah. And then they were wondering something that you're trying to improve the most on as well.
What I would like to improve, being a better leader for my team in general. Not being afraid to speak my mind when it comes to the strategy, because I know it just as well as anyone else. I just sometimes a bit hesitant, not knowing if I'll. Yeah,
you've been in the trenches.
We all been deep in the trenches.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So just figuring out when to pick my moments to speak up, because you guys know, and you guys play on those teams where everyone has something to say. So I feel like I'm doing the team a favor by just kind of shutting up sometimes and just being a teammate and doing my job.
Sometimes you got it.
Well, they definitely need your input because, like I said, you've been in the trenches.
That's the thing.
You know how to win. And I know that's difficult coming onto a new team and having a whole new dynamic, new chemistry. But I think that's a really good one for you to say, about yourself is, becoming the best leader that you possibly can, because that is going to be something that will be another like notch on the belt of your pedigree moving into this camp and being able to hone in on that skill in particular with the Diesel boys.
Yeah, because if you look at you two, Tyler, you're really good at fucking bringing that energy in the pit and getting the team going before or during the match, whether the chips are down or the momentum's on your side. You keep the team fucking dialed in. You bring a lot more to the team than I think you even realize. And then Marcelo, I think yours is a little more behind the scenes, but I know that you focus a lot on the new or the younger pickups to really focus on the psychology of the game, because you've been through it, especially at a young age. You know how to walk them through the fucking journey of trying to be a champion.
It's an important part of it, right? Like a team is only as strong as their weakest link. We realized that a long time ago. If you have everybody on the team firing at all cylinders, it's tough to beat,
For sure.
Like you can't just be worried about your own play and expect to win. It's just not how the game is anymore. Maybe back in the day, like one or two players, it's kind of like basketball too, like back in the day, one or two players could lead a team to a championship. Now it's like, fuck, you need 5 studs, at least really on the court or on the field at the same time, like you need 5.
That's fact.
Yeah, it's 100%. Like you can't just have the one. It's like all the teams are super teams almost. It's crazy.
It's really true.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my favorite part of it too, is like, again, just kind of sharing the knowledge and passing the knowledge along. And, a lot of it is strategy, but most of it is mental too. It's like
that's what I tell anybody trying to come up. They ask what it takes. It's be teachable.
Yeah. 100%.
Come in humble, ready to learn. Yeah. How many times have we seen arrogant kids that easily could have been at the same level as us, but they were just so arrogant and not willing to learn? So they cut their career short because no one wanted to deal with them.
Totally.
We can't think of the names now, but it's happened time and time again. Totally. And it's so unfortunate. It's wasted talent.
Totally.
Make sure your mindset is right before anything else. That will get you further than anything.
100%.
That's the best advice ever right there. Yeah.
Shit. Screen record that one.
That's the real deal right there.
All right, Chris Tucker, you got a job. Boom. Cut it and clip it, baby.
Yep.
Chris Tucker, wasn't that a comedian?
He is a comedian. Yep. But Chris Tucker from PTG is not a comedian.
Oh, okay.
Turns out, there's a few Chris Tuckers in the world, I think.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
No, you're right, Mouse. You gotta be grassroots, and especially when you're on the come up, you cannot be saying words like "but" or "I thought" and this, that, and the other, making excuses.
Yeah,
you gotta shut the lips, open the ears up, and just listen, man, and say yes, sir, yes, I will. You know what I mean, and just get it done. Because, like you said, Mouse, we've seen so many people come through that are like extremely talented, but cannot receive information or just listen. Like it's
handle the criticism. Yeah, they take it personal.
Yes, absolutely.
I think Hinman's probably told all 3 of us, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You should listen twice as much as he talks.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. Yeah, the Godfather.
Is the fucking Godfather.
What's weird is that I feel like God must have given Hinge 2 mouths and 1 ear then. I love you, Mike. I think Mike listens too. I love you, Mike.
The Godfather.
You should wait a while till you show up at it.
Good. Stop it. We need to get another alumni day out there. Hit up Mike.
Yeah.
Go play some paintball, have some lunch.
Oh yeah.
The boys.
Always a good time.
100%. All right. I got another question from the Discord. From Kalen, Inspired Paintball. Alex, this is Mr. 4-Pack from Oklahoma. Inside joke, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I remember that guy.
Nice. What is your response to Bear saying you aren't good at paintball anymore on a recent podcast?
Do I even need to respond to something so obnoxious?
Yes, you do.
I mean, really, if I gave that much effort to the responses that don't go my way, fuck, I'd be wasting a lot of energy. But yeah, that guy, he's just trying to get a rise in likes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's good at
I'm
it.
gonna let that one slide. Yeah, man. I mean, come on. The guy's talking that hasn't stepped on that field, and even when he does, that motherfucker turns into confetti real quick by the whole league. So I don't know if I need to say anything.
Jesus, he just roasted Bear like that on here. He's coming for
No,
you. We
that
know
was
Bear
light.
listens.
That was
too.
light work.
That was light work.
Yeah. My shit was earned. He paid his way.
Oh, shit. Holy guacamole. You heard it here first. Holy moly. Holy guac.
Mhm.
So are you not a Jackson sponsored athlete anymore?
What's Jackson?
That's his jewelry company.
I don't think I ever was.
Oh, shit. Shit, dog.
Yeah.
Damn.
He
The
said,
Jackson
nah.
fan's tight, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's been crushing it.
He hooked you up?
No, he doesn't hook me up with shit. But I am wearing a
Of
Jackson
course.
necklace right now that Dalton gave me. Bear
Wow.
hooked Dalton up, and Dalton gave it to me.
Are you sure he didn't take that from one of the inmates?
pretty positive. Either
All
way,
right.
same result though. Doesn't matter.
Mhm. Yeah.
They're all running rackets, all of them.
Hilarious.
All right. I got one from Pit Boss Nate. He says, what do you feel Diesel needs to do in order to win the Lone Star Major? What kind of steps can you guys take?
Well, number one, don't be discouraged from this past performance. Things happen.
Yeah.
You gotta take your licks and move on. Just block out the outside noise, because now we've invited any shit talk from the results. But it's life. Sometimes things don't go your way, but it's how you answer. So
Yeah.
I think it's more of a self accountability right now of certain individuals needing to do their part, and the rest will follow, and the team will come together, because that's the most frustrating thing was from the practices and even points in the tournament. We showed flashes of like, we can play that pace. We can get down with the elites in certain situations, whether we have the advantage or not. It just did not have the consistency. So where we find the change in that, we'll figure it out. We'll go back and keep working and do the homework. The one thing that won't lack is the effort. So I can never guarantee a certain result, but I will guarantee that we will have the confidence, and we will stay competing and be competitive, and the effort will be there. So,
dude, remember when you used to be super afraid of the microphone in interviews, and now you just fucking knock every question out of the park?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I felt like ever since I started closing with all these women, like the confidence is close.
Bam.
Became a straight dog, man.
Oh my god, you really just said
I'm a
that.
dog in these streets, bro. They don't want to
Talk
see
to
me.
him. Talk to him.
Talk to him.
I'll let him know real quick.
Man. You just did. You just let millions of people know.
I really did, man.
I love it. Mouse, you guys have had some amazing drops recently with Tiger Wear. Tiger Wear was popping at the last event. You guys had a nice little spot in the booth. Talk to me a little bit about Tiger Wear. Upcoming projects.
Thanks for letting me plug this. Yeah.
What do you guys got going on?
So the coolest fucking thing that we got coming out soon, well, we did have them available at the tournament, but only like a limited amount. We have gloves coming out. I thought they came out so sick.
Whoa, nice. Very cool.
Yeah. They're going to be on the website, I think, within the next week. I could be wrong on that. We also are doing a drop on one of our hottest bands that we had was the Mosaic. Kind of that like
I like that one. Yeah.
Multicolored. Yeah. That one was great. and then another rare earth, just straight one-tone color that we're going to drop in the next week as well. So I got to give a lot of credit to Kyle, man. He's stepped up huge for the company when I couldn't, because my time spread so thin with work and the gym and all the other nonsense that I've chose. But,
work in the gym and closing with the ladies.
That's right. I didn't want to say it, but yeah. And oh man, watch this one bite me in the ass years later when I have a girlfriend and I'm trying to get married.
No way, dude. You're single right now. You're allowed to live. What are you talking about?
Live it up.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, you're single, bro.
Yeah. Feel like I'd have a few golden barrels right now in real life. With the body.
He's stacking them up.
Slight joke.
Couple of them things.
Wait. So, back to Tiger Wear here. Yeah. So, a couple new drops coming. So everybody be on the lookout from our Instagram, Tigerwear Co, or our website, tigerwear.co. And yeah, and we're going to start bringing product to all the events. So it's going to be at the AC Diesel booth or / Evil booth.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have been crushing it with that. And if I'm not mistaken, Lamb, he works with you guys pretty closely. Is that right?
Yeah, he's really behind the scenes. He's played paintball a few times. Our dude Lamb, one of the other owners, does a ridiculously good job of the graphic design and a lot of the artwork that you see on the website and any of the custom add-ons on the videos or pictures. Yeah, but that guy,
he's sick.
He's really good.
And I think he worked
got
with
an eye for style.
He worked with Tyga or somebody, if I'm not.
He worked for Tyga. Yeah.
The rapper. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a brand. Yeah, and he did something with this brand called 12 Joules. Well.
That's tight like a tiger.
Shout out to Young Money.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always been involved with the Tigers. So.
Hell yeah. See? Full circle.
That is. And I feel like naturally you should join too.
Damn.
Right, Tyler?
Yeah. There's something there. Yeah.
100%.
We got the boys, dude. We got the boys.
Oh, man. Well, shoot, guys. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we're approaching 2 hours on this episode. Kind of feeling like if we don't have any more questions, we should wrap it up. But
for sure.
Mouse, dude, thank you for your time. Always a pleasure having you
guys.
On. Yeah.
Hey, just because you guys called me out, though, on the last one, make sure you let them know this one was for free.
Straight up. Dude, we didn't call you out. You went and made it public, just so you know, buddy.
Nah, that's false. Because
it's not false.
First of all, I don't post usually.
You were on another show.
Where that would have been.
You were on another show. We won't talk about it.
I think whoever that was might have called me out. But
maybe I don't know.
Well, Mouse,
either way,
we're gonna be be calling you up, boy. We're gonna have you on.
Listen,
here
dude,
run it, man.
You're money, Mouse. Yeah. Time is money. I get it. You know. Money Mouse over here in the building. Cha-ching. You got it. You got to be able to afford all the dates that you're going on. So
that's right.
Right. You got to be able to put gas in the Maserati. Like, I get it, dude. I get it.
Damn, bro. Don't let them know what I'm whipping like that.
We're here to support you, bro. We're here to support you. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. And look, most importantly, everybody, please make sure to go follow the Tigerwear Instagram page. Check out the website. And just love to see our friends doing cool shit in the paintball space.
That's it.
Oh yeah, man. PTG, #1 podcast.
Ooh, let's go. Boom. You heard it.
Talk to me.
All right, guys. Thank you, brother.
We appreciate
thank you guys.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
Peace.
Have a good night.
Peace.
See you in March. Later.
My dog.
Oh, my dog.
He's out here running it.
He's running it. I was having a good time.
You gotta love that. And before we hop off, I do want to give a boost to Inspired Paintball and the Hall of Icons. The inductees that were made at the tournament this last weekend, which was pretty amazing. We had Chris Lasoya, Dave Youngblood, Rocky Cagnoni, Marty Bush, Tom Cole, Billy Saransky, Matty Marshall, Travis Lemansky, Todd Adamson, John Richardson, Laurent, Bob Long, Tim Montresor, Danny Love, Adam Gardner, Oliver Lang, Daryl Trent, Rennick Miller, Shane Pistana, and Todd Martinez were all inducted as Hall of Icon members, which is pretty radical. And they'll be, standing the test of time as the legends of the game, which is pretty cool.
Dude, insanely cool. What Ryan, Quinn, and Alex put together this last weekend was amazing. Just a really cool thing for paintball. So I'm excited to hopefully one day be included in that. But they got some dope Hormesis jackets, custom made green jacket, fucking awesome, dude. Really, really cool.
It is. Yeah, shout out to them.
Ryan crushed it with that project.
Yes, and everything that they all did with that. And then I wanted to shout out Inspired because he's a part of the PTG fam, and he made all these really cool graphics to go along with each one of the people. So if you want, go head over to Inspired Paintball and you can check that out as well. And we're just grateful for this community, grateful for all of you being here, having some fun with us. This was a fun episode. And shout out to Piper on the YouTube one time. Let's go, Piper.
Hi, Piper. Now you don't want to bark? She's totally happy now that she's been sitting over here.
She's a sweet old lady. Look at her.
Dude, she's so freaking sweet. She's the sweetest dog in the world. Love this dog. Oh, little Pipey.
Sweetheart.
Oh, okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for rocking with us. We love you. We'll see you very soon. Ty, you're the man. Love you as well.
You're the man, March.
And
love you, brother.
Talk to you very soon. Love you, bro.
Talk to you soon. And congratulations once again
Thank you.
on
Thank
the
you,
success this last week. And we'll see you soon.
Alrighty. Peace.
All right. Later. Peace.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please head over to ptgpaintball.com. Click the Patreon link. It's a little orange button at the top right-hand corner. And become a member. Become a supporter. If you sign up at any level, you will get instant access to the Discord. Getting into the Discord will give you access to all sorts of cool stuff, different channels, and everything you could want to be part of the PTG community. If you become a GOAT, you get insane access. You get access to once a month live stream shows from Tyler and myself where we do tons of amazing giveaways and give out all the awesome secrets. You don't want to miss out on being a GOAT. Being a GOAT is the most exclusive, awesome, amazing paintball podcast club in paint. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you very soon. Peace.